This is Computer Insider, Canada's award-winning technology report with Bob Pritchard. This week, we see how one cuts for their computer equipment. Later, are you confused and dazed by your computer? Help is on the way. This week on Computer Insider. Computer Insider is brought to you by AST Computer. You'll like the way we work. And Sharp Electronics. From sharp minds come sharp products.
Thank you very much for joining us again this week on Computer Insider. The Software Publishers Association reports that CD software sales soared in 1994's third quarter. For the quarter, total sales of reporting companies were $150.6 million US dollars. That's a 229% increase over the $45.7 million reported for the same period in 1993. For the first three quarters of 1994, total sales were at $387.2 million. That's a 282% increase from the $101.2 million for the first three quarters of 93. Unit sales in 1994's third quarter were 5.88 million units, a 253% increase, while unit sales for the first three quarters were 15.6 million units, up 292%. For the first time in the 7 quarters that SPA has been tracking CD software sales, content software such as databases and encyclopedias was not the largest selling category. Games and other home products was the largest segment, with sales of $35.9 million, up 201%. Content software was next largest, with sales of $30.4 million for the quarter, up 64%. A deal aimed at letting Internet users safely charge online purchases to their credit cards has been struck by MasterCard and Internet software publisher Netscape Communications. A new system will allow cardholders to purchase goods over the Internet, have the numbers scrambled, and have them strictly decoded by MasterCard. Reporting for Computer Insider, I'm Bob Pritchard.
Computer Insider's Industry Insights has been brought to you by QMS, Seamless Network Printing.
Probably the largest task we have in using technology is selecting the products and tools that we're going to use. If you happen to be involved, for example, in a large organization, you probably have computer experts on staff. Mid-sized companies go to consultants and bring them in to tell them what to do. But if you're involved in a small organization, let's say less than 10 people, how do you select the products you use? How do you get them operational, and how do you stay in touch with what's actually going on inside the computer industry? We went to Egberts Engineering to find out how they deal with technology on Computer Insider.
In this office, we utilized the logical connection to tie together our 3 computers so that we only needed to use one printer, so that any one of the 3 stations could send a print from their system directly through the logical connection to a laser printer. And this worked well initially, but as the software evolved and the demands on our business evolved, the length of time it would take for the laser printer to produce the document was at first drawing up to 5 minutes, and at the maximum we cut print jobs after waiting for the better part of 1 hour. It was due to this that we reinvestigated our options so that we only were required to carry 1 printer for the 3 computers we had in our office.
In order to decide what equipment we really need, we find that chatting with the other small businesses that we deal with, whether they're vendors or whether they're suppliers, customers that we have, everybody has their own experiences, and people jump into the market with equipment at various times, and find that everybody is happy to trade stories and about their successes or whether they're unhappy with things. And we've actually found that the information obtained this way has been quite good. We've in fact purchased a plotter which is the same as one of the architects that we work with. And our decision on the Pentium was really based on going to a customer's location and seeing how it operated there, and we were quite impressed with the performance level that was happening.
We considered 3 options when we were reviewing the LAN options. And the first option was Lantastic. The second option was Novell Lite. And the third option was Windows for Workgroups. The Novell Lite was getting a smaller market share by the time we were in to purchase. It had been doing well, but it was not doing as well. Lantastic was very highly recommended, and other friends of ours had gone on it with ease, and it had worked for them. And Windows for Workgroups was coming up, and I think on that, I have to say that I don't know a lot about how it works. So we chose the option that we knew other people had tried and worked for them, the safe route for our office.
It's extremely much faster in terms of regeneration. The regeneration time in AutoCAD 10 compared to the regeneration time in AutoCAD 12 with the Pentium there's no comparison. It's very quick. We used to wait maybe 2 minutes, even 1 minute, depending on the complexity and the size of the drawing, till now it's almost instantaneous regeneration time.
The most important comment we got from Egberts Engineering was that they turned to their friends to get help in how to purchase equipment. It's not the best way to make selection because who's to say your friends are up on what's going on or not informed about what's going on? I can't criticize because I bought my first computer based on a recommendation from a friend, Bob Pritchard, who does our voice work, to go to a Commodore, and it worked out well for me. What should you do? It's something you have to look at yourself and maybe find a consultant or an expert, or just read a lot or watch Computer Insider, or read our Fax on Demand system newsletter. It's a free service that we offer to you. All you have to do is call into the first number on our screen and dial back the fax system to get the information sent to your fax machine. Drop us a note if you want to the second number, our fax mailbox. Coming up, how do you use the help on your computer on Computer Insider?
If you want to attract more business, you've got to work together. We all have our own special visions of where we want to be and how we want to work, wherever we are. At AST, we build computers to meet your worldview with award-winning products, service, and support. From notebooks to super servers, AST Computer. You'll like the way we work.
Question: what prints, faxes, scans, and makes perfect copies? Answer: the QMS 2001 Plain Paper Laser Knowledge System, the 600 DPI high-performance printer that does it all. Easy to install, the QMS 2001 works with your Windows PC to integrate all of these capabilities into one very affordable, dynamic business system. It's your office in a box. Call 1-800-263-5508 for the dealer nearest you.
When John Nagy joined CompuServe, he was new at computing and an old hand on the mountain. He joined to get more out of his computer and more out of life. On CompuServe, as on the mountain, there was always something to discover, like the solution to a software problem that wasn't in the manual, or being one of the first to know about that special vacation spot and how to save time and money getting there. The mountain was a source of satisfaction he would never outgrow. In a way, a lot like CompuServe. For more information, call 1-800-554-4088. Start with the basics, news, travel, and encyclopedia, and more for just $8.95 a month. Then go beyond for free software and help with hardware and software problems. You'll get more out of your computer and more out of life. CompuServe, the information service you won't outgrow.
When we go through our local computer magazines or newspapers or whatever, there's no shortage of stories about the major software companies. What's the latest and greatest at Microsoft? How is Novell's WordPerfect working in the marketplace? Is 123 spreadsheet really doing the job we hoped it would do? But the world's full of other companies, smaller companies, that don't necessarily get the opportunity to come out into the marketplace and tell you and I what they're doing. So on Computer Insider, we're going to take our cameras, go to the marketplace, and meet one of these smaller organizations.
Angoss Software is a software manufacturer. Our focus is on providing development tools, and our definition of development tools is probably broader than most software manufacturers. So we look for products that add value in a way that goes beyond just direct tools like 4GLs or programming languages. Knowledge Seeker, our artificial intelligence data analysis software, is a classic example of that, where it is the kind of software that we believe over the next several years is critical for end users to extract real value from data. So although we see a tremendous market for Knowledge Seeker in terms of end user tools, it's a very important product for us through our authorized developer network, where they include this product in the same way that several years back everybody started to include products like report generators.
To define a typical customer for Angoss is a very difficult issue in the fact that we have independent developers who develop applications with our product set, and they could be working on their own or two-person offices. Right up, I can easily say that 400 of the 500 Fortune 500 companies have our software in use today, and we run the entire gamut in the middle of that as well.
What we're seeing here is the analysis of a community health survey, and the purpose of it is to look for cause and effects relationships affecting hypertension. As we can see, the total number of records here is 360. Our dependent variable is hypertension, which has been broken down to the low, normal, and high measurements. Knowledge Seeker will go into this database and examine all possible combinations of variables and do a measure of statistical significance on those variables and how they affect hypertension.
The reason we like the Angoss product is that many of our customers have a lot of data that they don't know what to do with. And typically in downsized departments today, there often aren't a lot of analysts available to go in and investigate all of the data. So the Angoss product is one of the few products on the market that we recommend to customers that allows them cleanly and simply to say to a piece of software, look at my data, tell me what's important.
One of the things I wanted to find out about, Lynn, is just how do you survive against a major software organization, let's say like Microsoft?
That's a very difficult question to answer. Actually, we're international as a company, and less than 3% of our revenue comes from Canada. Over half of our revenue comes from Europe. So that, if anything, we have to focus more on our Canadian business. I would say that we survive by providing extraordinary quality software, and we really understand what is required in both small, medium, and large enterprises to effectively develop, manage, and support applications. That's our focus.
We use Knowledge Seeker to analyze client mailings and identify the segments which will respond better to improve the client's return on their mailing.
Database marketing is the real sweet spot for Knowledge Seeker now, and has implications to be one of the leading segmentation modeling and cluster analysis software tools on the market.
One of the things I wanted to clarify with you is that the main product line that they've been talking about through the interview segment was a package called Knowledge Seeker. And basically what Knowledge Seeker is, it's an artificial intelligence package that looks at the database, analyzes the information, then comes back and produces reports. Now, the reason they use AI to do this, that's artificial intelligence, is that there is so much data being collected, let's say at scanners at supermarkets or when you purchase gasoline, that the companies really have to look to a more sophisticated type of system to be able to analyze, to determine what the trends are within the database software. There's one trend that we know about. It's called Facts on Demand, the latest collection of computer industry news, a free service that we offer to you right here on Computer Insider. So if you want to just jot down the number, the first number is our Facts on Demand system. Dial from your fax machine if you're outside of the 416 area code, and it'll send the information back down the line to you. And of course, please don't hesitate to drop us a note. Coming up, are you sure you know how to use your help on Computer Insider?
Only Sharp presentation systems deliver the winning combination. Don't miss your next opportunity. Get the Sharp Edge. From a family of incredibly vivid computer projection panels to our convergence-free LCD projectors, you too can have multimedia presentation power like never before. Up to 16 million colors in computer, video, or combined. Sharp presentation systems and you, the winning combination.
2 days until the presentation. Plenty of time to pull it all together.
Hi, Marcy. Sorry, the deadline moved up 24 hours. See you in the morning.
Looks like a long night ahead. With her AST computer, she'll make it on time. AST Computers and Support for a winning performance. From notebooks to super servers, AST Computer. You'll like the way we work.
Today's marketplace demands more information delivered faster than ever before. D-Link helps make that happen. D-Link manufactures network interfaces. D-Link connects computer systems with bridges and routers. D-Link writes network management software. D-Link manufactures computer networking and internetworking products to bring this world closer together. D-Link Corporation. Question: what prints, faxes, scans, and makes perfect copies? Answer: the QMS 2001 Plain Paper Laser Knowledge System, the 600 DPI high-performance printer that does it all. Easy to install, the QMS 2001 works with your Windows PC to integrate all of these capabilities into one very affordable, dynamic business system. It's your office in a box. Call 1-800-263-5508 for the dealer nearest you.
One of the most important things to keep in mind when you're looking at your computer system is the ability to use the help function. Now, if we look up at our screen here, we've got our help button and we've clicked on the icon for help, and it's bringing down a whole list of standard help functions that are built into the computer system. Now, we can not only use this sort of a system we have here, but we can go up and use the search button, and it gives us a whole listing of topics that we can look at. And we're scrolling up and down right now so you can see what the various ones look like. And what we'll do is we'll find one topic, click on it, and down in here you can see we get a wider selection of topics that come with it. This brings us directly into the help box, which is what this is, with the detailed instructions of how to do the function or command that we want to do. Now, what we're looking at right now is in the Program Manager inside of Windows 3.11 for workgroups. What I want to do is to put this away and go over to an application to show you that the way the help is structured from program to program inside of Windows is very common. So what we've done now is we've clicked onto the help and it's brought up our window. We're in the search mode here, and as we saw earlier, we're seeing the same style of structure coming. It's the commands, the help instructions. We find a topic, click on it, and here we can see exactly how to do those functions or find that command structure within the computer system itself. Now remember, the advantage of using Windows is that all of the programs are structured in a similar way, so you can go from program to program and be able to do things. What you're seeing here, by the way, right now is sort of a tutorial, so if you're learning how to use the application, in this case Word, it steps you through it and shows you how it works. Now what I want to do is to go to another package. This is Improv, which is a spreadsheet from Lotus Development Corporation. And what I want to do is, again, show you the help, because help is always there. If you don't understand, if you don't know what to do, look to the help menu to find the instructions you need. And as you can see on the spreadsheet, it actually comes up and shows you the detail about how everything goes together. Again, it's the same format. You can click. It gives you more detail down here. You can double click on it, and it gives you the actual instructions. Never be afraid of your computer. Help is always there. I know some of us, when we go into DOS, get all worked up on that. Maybe you don't have the sophistication, it's not graphical, it doesn't give us the opportunities. It's not true. What Microsoft has done over the last number of years is given us help in DOS. And that's what we're looking at right now. We are in the DOS environment, in a DOS window, and we typed in dir, or rather help space dir, and it shows us all the options we have for that particular command. Now what we're going to do is pick a couple of topics. Let's exit out of the help and go into DOS, and we'll use a command, dir space /p, which is the paging command. We'll hit return, and as you can see, all our files are being listed, and it's giving us one screen fill at a time. There are other commands we saw, dir space /w, that shows us in width, or as we saw in the help function, we can put them together. The files are across the screen and they're being paged. So help is always there. You don't have to worry about what's going on within the computer system, because help will be there to step you through the problem. So don't panic, just work your way through it. Speaking about working your way through things, we have our Fax on Demand system all set for you. It's got the latest computer industry news. All you have to do is dial into the first number on the screen, and make sure, if you're, by the way, not in the 416 area code, that you call from a fax machine and pick up the information from our Fax on Demand system. Also, if you'd like to drop us a note, drop it to our second number on the screen. That's our fax mailbox, and we'll have a look to see what's going on in your world. Coming up, we're going to have a discussion with Tandem Computers. Actually, it's the Chief Executive Officer, from an interview we did down in San Francisco, because we were concerned over what was happening in the world of mainframe computers. A lot of changes. PCs have been encroaching into their marketplace. The mini computer has been in deep trouble. So what are mainframe companies doing to survive? Next on Computer Insider.
Only Sharp Presentation Systems deliver the winning combination. Don't miss your next opportunity. Get the Sharp Edge. From a family of incredibly vivid computer projection panels to our convergence-free LCD projectors, you too can have multimedia presentation power like never before. Up to 16 million colors in computer, video, or combined. Sharp Presentation Systems and you, the winning combination.
Today's marketplace demands more information delivered faster than ever before. D-Link helps make that happen. D-Link manufactures network interfaces. D-Link connects computer systems with bridges and routers. D-Link writes network management software. D-Link manufactures computer networking and internetworking products to bring this world closer together. D-Link Corporation. Computer Insider is brought to you by Maxell. From floppy disks and data cartridges to leading-edge optical disks, Maxell computer products are 100% tested, certified, and guaranteed. At Maxell, high performance runs in the family.
There's been a tremendous upheaval in the world of mainframe computers, and we wanted to find out a bit more about how some of the companies have revamped going through the mid-90s. So we'd like to welcome today to Computer Insider Jimmy Treybig, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Tandem Computers. And Jimmy, can we start off by having you tell us about some of the markets that you're in, and are these markets expanding or not?
There's a lot of ways to define markets. One way that Tandem is well known for has to do with online transaction processing. That's like when you go up to an ATM machine and you do something that creates a transaction, it goes to a database, makes a decision to give you money. We're the leader in transaction processing, that market. There are other ways of looking at markets, and that's by industry. We're very strong in telecommunications, which is a third of our business, in a very high growth area. We're very strong in banking. We sell to the 250 largest banks in the world, things like, as an example, ATM. We automate stock exchanges. Some 50 stock exchanges around the world use Tandem to run their systems. We're very strong in healthcare and newspapers and applications that cut across industries like call centers. But always it's an application where people have to have the computer available continuously and they don't want the data to be wrong.
Jimmy, can you tell us about some of the recent changes you've had at Tandem Computer?
There was a big change in the computer industry in the early 90s where you had the collision of what were vertically integrated computer companies from the past like IBM and DEC, and these new open computer companies or workstation companies. And when they came together, you had several things happen. One, this dramatic reduction in prices. But two, you also saw the cost to support the need for systems that worked well going up, and that's just now really being recognized. Tandem had to go through a change like many other computer companies to move to an open business model. By that I mean we now have transitioned Tandem to a company that has new computers every single year. Lots of new computers, just like workstation companies, and we've worked hard to get our cost per unit of work on these big servers down to be the same as the cost per unit of work on a PC or a workstation. The uniqueness for Tandem then is that we have parallelism to provide very large servers or very small servers that don't fail. That's unique to Tandem. But we've very successfully made this transition to the new open business model and are doing it. We had our best year in our history, by far our best quarter in the history, and the quarter just ended.
Jimmy, we've been hearing a lot about your parallel processing. Can you explain to us what parallel processing is?
Parallel processing is an area where many of the people that study computer companies show Tandem by far the leader, both in terms of thought and implementation. You can think of parallel processing like on an airplane, where an airplane could have one engine and you could fly 600 miles an hour. Or you could have two engines and fly 600 miles an hour, but if one engine failed, you would be flying 300 miles an hour. Or you could have four engines. Well, our concept of parallelism is to have the most cost-effective processing module and then to build system size by running the processors in parallel. Now, many people will say they're into parallel processing where they're connecting things together simply through communication, but the difference is in our parallel processing architecture, despite the fact you have many modules, it looks like a single system. And so therefore, we have a big advantage in this area.
Jimmy, what do you see the role of parallel processing being in the marketplace?
Well, the advantage of parallel processing, again, is that you want to build the most cost-efficient module and then build size through parallelism. And if you do it right, like at Tandem, that system, if part of it fails, can get a little smaller but keep running. And then if you still continue to do the design right, when you fix the one module, it can expand. And so I think that all servers eventually will be based on the concept of parallel architectures. And applications that are in small business that need availability or that have important information that can't be lost will take advantage of this technology.
Thank you very much for joining us, Jimmy.
Thanks, Bob.
Coming up next, we're going to be talking about favorites in the computer industry on Computer Insider.
Question: what prints, faxes, scans, and makes perfect copies? Answer: the QMS 2001 Plain Paper Laser Knowledge System, the 600 DPI high-performance printer that does it all. Easy to install, the QMS 2001 works with your Windows PC to integrate all of these capabilities into one very affordable, dynamic business system. It's your office in a box. Call 1-800-263-5508 for the dealer nearest you.
If you want to attract more business, you've got to work together. We all have our own special visions of where we want to be and how we want to work, wherever we are. At AST, we build computers to meet your worldview with award-winning products, service, and support. From notebooks to super servers, AST Computer. You'll like the way we work.
Regrettably, many of us don't have a good system in place to choose the equipment we use, and we go to what I call the favorite solution in terms of finding out what computers, what hardware, what printers to go to. In fact, although this is a somewhat more secure way of acquiring equipment, it's definitely not the best way to approach the market, because what happens when you turn to your friends for information is that they tell you about the experience they've had with product that may be 2 or 3 or 4 years old, not reflective of what's going on in the current marketplace. In fact, at the beginning of this show, we talked to an engineering company who made most of the decisions about the products to use based on what their friends were doing. The printer they put in place was based on a recommendation from a friend who had purchased a similar printer a year and a half ago. The printer market has changed a lot. So if you're going out into the marketplace, what are the best ways to pursue the equipment and to get the right product on your desktop? Clearly, following editorial reviews and product reviews is a solid way to get a good handle on information, because the people who produce these reviews are generally well-versed about what's going on and are able to make quality recommendations. However, all of us don't have all the time it takes to read all this information, so maybe you should be looking at other systems in other ways. One of the ways that I strongly suggest, and the way we select our editorial directions here on Computer Insider, is to look at what the market leaders are. It's not to say that that's the best product for every job, but it certainly gives you a trend as to what's going on. Find the product information, get consumer reviews, find out what the top-selling products are, and then look to see how it fits into your world and your life, and if this will get you the right answers for your computer technology. Thank you very much for joining us this week, and we'll see you next week right here on Computer Insider.
Computer Insider has been brought to you by AST Computer. You'll like the way we work. Sharp Electronics. From sharp minds come sharp products.